Good evening and welcome to Pulso Latino. I'm your host, Marcos Gutierrez. Our first topic tonight, President Bush and his 7-day trip to Latin America. We'll go in-depth on the subject tonight.
Usó gas lacrimógeno para dispersar a los manifestantes indignados por
The Bush visit seemed to have galvanized opposition to U.S. policy in Latin America and strengthened resentment towards Washington, especially as it relates to U.S. immigration policy, as we see in this report from Guatemala.
Forcejeo entre manifestantes y policías, bombas lacrimógenas y persecución. Heridos, entre ellos un reportero gráfico y 2 detenidos. Todo esto mientras a solo 50 metros en el Palacio Cultural conversaban el presidente George W. Bush y su homólogo guatemalteco. Una protesta en donde declararon al mandatario estadounidense como un ilegal en Guatemala.
Viera que la presencia de George Bush en Guatemala para nosotros es algo indignante, ya que cuando los inmigrantes guatemaltecos están en el país norteamericano son sacados a base de fuerza y discriminación total. Entonces nosotros yo creo que también tenemos que hacer lo mismo, no en un son de venganza, sino en un son de justicia.
Durante la manifestación, un baño, pero no con agua, recibieron los agentes de seguridad. Esto en reclamo contra la presencia del inquilino de la Casa Blanca en Guatemala. Una quema al borde del cerco policial contra el que consideran su enemigo, un enemigo al que no pueden tocar ni alcanzar.
What has become apparent during this visit is that President Bush seems to be competing for attention with Venezuela's Hugo Chávez. Chilean television reports that the Venezuelan president seems to literally be giving Bush a run for his money.
Nuevamente el presidente venezolano estará cerca de su demonio personal. George Bush comenzó este jueves su visita número 11 a Latinoamérica, la más larga de sus 2 mandatos. 7 días visitando Brasil, Uruguay, Colombia, Guatemala y México. Y de cerca asusándolo, Hugo Chávez, en suelo argentino y luego boliviano. Bajo el brazo de Bush, acuerdos para producir biocombustibles, impulso al comercio, discusiones sobre inmigración y narcotráfico, promesas a una región que ha estado lejos de ser prioridad para su gobierno, como lo demuestran las cifras. Estados Unidos destina $1.600 millones anuales en asistencia para América Latina. Hugo Chávez, en cambio, solo en Argentina ha invertido el doble para sanear su deuda pública.
Colombia, one of President Bush's strongest allies in the region, provided top security for the U.S. president, fearing possible action by drug cartels and leftist guerrillas who oppose U.S. support for Álvaro Uribe's government.
Esta mañana estaba en las portadas de todos los diarios colombianos y en cada esquina de la ciudad de Bogotá la señal de que el presidente de Estados Unidos, George W. Bush, aterrizaría en la escala más compleja de toda su gira latinoamericana. Y es que en este país tocará Bush la delicada fibra del narcotráfico, abarcará el tema de la droga y revivirá el polémico Plan Colombia, la directa intervención de Estados Unidos en el combate de los carteles.
A few feet away from where Bush and Uribe were discussing plans to combat the drug cartels, reaction to Bush's presence was not much different than in other countries.
La carrera séptima, la principal avenida de Bogotá, se convirtió en escenario de una verdadera batalla campal. Un grupo grande de manifestantes intercambió piedras y gases lacrimógenos con la policía, luego de destruir y asaltar bancos y locales comerciales.
Como 40 minutos, ahí entra la gente, le daba palo, piedra a uno esperando y aguantando.
Y la verdad que uno no entiende cómo puede existir tanta perversidad en la mente de gente que quiere expresarse de esa manera.
El ejército y la policía continúan vigilando el centro de Bogotá para prevenir nuevos desórdenes.
But the anger there was also directed at the Colombian government for using what some said were repressive tactics to protect a criminal.
Es increíble que haya un dispositivo de terrorismo del Estado de prevención de unas marchas libres en relación con la venida de un criminal. Es increíble que haya requisas para la gente, para los colombianos que salen a la calle sencillamente porque viene un asesino.
People in Brazil, perhaps the biggest economy in Latin America, received President Bush with marches opposing what they said was a policy of oppression against Latin America and other parts of the world.
Miles de manifestantes convocados por la Coordinación de Movimientos Populares de Brasil marcharon por el centro de Sao Paulo para protestar contra la visita de Bush. Estudiantes, campesinos, movimientos de mujeres, sindicalistas y partidos de izquierda criticaron la política externa y las acciones militares de los Estados Unidos en el mundo.
Para dizer e para repudiar a sua política de dominação sobre os países da América Latina, sua política ambiental.
President Bush signed an agreement of cooperation with Brazil for research and development of alternative fuels. Brazil has almost reached energy independence by developing its alternative fuel industry to the point where now most cars in Brazil can run on natural gas or ethanol. But still, there were suspicions surrounding the agreement signed by President Bush on his stopover in Brazil.
Es evidente que esa producción no programada, esta producción desenfreada de etanol puede entusiasmar algunos pequeños círculos de la oligarquía brasileña, pero no es favorable de ninguna manera a la mayoría de la población de nuestro país.
Mexico is one of the strongest allies the U.S. has in the region. But there, some see President Bush imposing his will on President Calderón to help him influence Latin American politics. This message was heard loud and clear in the streets of Mérida.
Las protestas siguieron el paso del presidente de Estados Unidos también en la última etapa de su gira por América Latina. Justo cuando llegaba al aeropuerto de Mérida, Yucatán, en el centro de esta capital, cientos de personas rechazaban su presencia.
Sabemos perfectamente a qué viene, o sea, a sacar compromisos con Calderón para usarlo como punta de lanza en contra de los países del sur.
Estamos definitivamente en contra de la visita de una persona que está manejando la política mundial como si fuera el dueño del mundo, y no es así.
Aunque menos numerosa que en otros países, la protesta desafió el dispositivo de seguridad sin precedentes en la ciudad y sus alrededores.
Only a few feet away, President Bush was visiting with President Calderón, who recommended more investment and jobs instead of walls and barbed wire that would be more effective in curtailing illegal immigration along the common border.
Que puede ayudar más a detener la migración 1 kilómetro de carretera en Michoacán o en Zacatecas que 10 kilómetros de muro en Texas o en Arizona.
President Bush's visit to the region had a specific agenda to promote security, democracy, investment, and free trade. But to some, the real agenda was to divide and conquer, as we see on this report from Venezuela's Telesur reporter in Washington.
Cada parada del presidente Bush en la región tiene una agenda pública. Etanol en Brasil, Tratado de Libre Comercio en Uruguay, Plan Colombia y drogas en Colombia, migración y seguridad en México y Guatemala. Y también una agenda paralela.
Un meta de esta visita es evitar que los países de América Latina se unen en contra de los intereses del gobierno de Estados Unidos, obvio. Y para Bush, o para el gobierno de Bush, una América Latina dividida en bloques es mejor que una América Latina unida en contra de programa de inversiones libres, de acuerdos de libre comercio, de privatizaciones y las otras cosas que están entre los objetivos del gobierno de Bush.
Una contención que a juicio de los analistas consultados parece muy pequeña y muy tardía. Y liderada por el hombre menos indicado. Roselena Ramírez, Telesur, Washington.
The theory of divide and conquer was heard again in Uruguay. There, some believe that Bush's real motive was to keep Uruguay from joining South America's common market known as Mercosur and sign a free trade agreement with the U.S. instead.
Lo que busca el gobierno de Estados Unidos es ver si puede, si puede profundizar las dificultades que tiene Uruguay con el Mercosur. Estuvo en contra del Mercosur antes que se creara, cuando se fundó y después.
In Uruguay, President Bush was greeted by mostly peaceful crowds. But even though they weren't as violent as in other countries, they were just as vocal in rejecting U.S. Latin American policy.
El presidente George Bush arribó a Uruguay para una visita de 3 días con la expectativa de firmar acuerdos bilaterales y reforzar la presencia política de los Estados Unidos en la región. Pero los uruguayos no le dieron la bienvenida. 2 marchas multitudinarias recorrieron la ciudad de Montevideo manifestando su repudio. Las marchas no solo rechazaban con sus consignas al imperialismo, sino pregonaban también por la unidad latinoamericana.
La mayoría del pueblo debe expresarse y se expresa de esa manera, manifestando pacíficamente y diciéndole al conjunto del pueblo uruguayo, a América Latina y al mundo entero que nosotros repudiamos a George Bush por los crímenes que ha cometido en la humanidad.
Con el eco de las protestas resonando en las calles uruguayas, el presidente Tabaré Vázquez y su par norteamericano George Bush se reunieron en la estancia Anchorena bajo impresionantes medidas de seguridad. Ambos mandatarios estuvieron acompañados por su gabinete en un encuentro cara a cara que duró poco más de 1 hora.
All in all, the U.S. in general and President Bush in particular are seen as predators by some Latin Americans. This was clearly reflected by Tele7 in Argentina as they were summing up President Bush's visit to that region.
Una frase que me gustó, que leí, de un artículo de Noam Chomsky que tiene que ver con Oriente Medio, pero que tiene que ver con el presidente Bush, y que dijo, un predador se vuelve más peligroso cuando está herido. Me puse a buscar qué quiere decir predador exactamente. Es el animal que caza y se alimenta de otros organismos vivos. Esta semana fue una semana durísima para el presidente Bush. Le dieron una condena muy dura al asistente de su vicepresidente Cheney por un caso del que le hablamos mucho y hoy no tenemos tiempo, que es el CIA Gate. En Afganistán las cosas están mal. En este momento se está iniciando una cumbre en Bagdad para hablar de Irak y está Irán presente. Irán y Siria están presentes finalmente. Bush fue mal recibido en América Latina. Hay que ver cómo sigue esto.
We have heard throughout these reports some pretty strong language directed at President Bush and the United States. To some, this is the result of decades of neglect, abandonment, and broken promises towards the region. To discuss these issues, we have in our studio tonight Dr. Clara Mantini Briggs, a researcher of demography studies at UC Berkeley, Ted Lewis, Human Rights Director at Global Exchange in San Francisco. We're also joined from Washington, D.C. by Paulo Sotero, Director of the Brazil Institute at the Woodrow Wilson Center, and by Luis Botello, Director of the Latin American Programs at International Center for Journalists. I would like to start with Mr. Botello. Why so much resentment towards the United States?
Well, you got to understand the history of the United States and Latin America. It has been a history of intervention. It's a history where Latin America has suffered for poverty, and a lot of that is blamed, as you know, for people in the north, people that control the international institutions like the World Bank. They feel the United States, for some reason, have to be related to all that and pushing for reforms that sometimes hasn't helped the economies. So you put that all together and then you see in the last, since the war in Iraq, where the whole attention of the United States shifted, you know, all the aid that was given to Latin America, a lot of that shrinked. And they see that the United States going back just to see what they can get from Latin America and know what the United States can do for Latin America. And you put that together, you could see why you might see some anti-Americanism now being expressed so heavily.
Why is it that in the United States we have not seen the coverage that we should have concerning these issues?
Well, you have to see that the impact that the war in Iraq had in the United States, it has really captured every single aspect of public debate. And not only that, you also have a very weak tradition of coverage of international issues in the American press.
Okay.
That has been a tradition here, and people thought that with the war in Iraq, Americans would probably feel more need to know what's going on around the war. And it really happened at the beginning of the war in Iraq, but it has changed, it's slipping away again, and we see that there is a very little tradition of international coverage in the American press.
Okay, well, let's go to Mr. Ted Lewis from Global Exchange. Obviously, this gap between the United States and Latin America does not start with Mr. Bush. Give us a little background on that.
Well, obviously not. You'd have to go back to the Monroe Doctrine to really get started with all that. But
if you look at the policies that the United States has pursued toward Latin America, they have been ones of supporting military dictatorships until up to the 1980s, and then imposing a very rigid economic model known as the Washington Consensus, something that there is now a opposing consensus that this model has failed the poor in Latin America. And so we see the Bush administration coming in, raising expectations, promising Mexico a comprehensive immigration reform, not being able to come through with that, ignoring Mexico from the time of September 11th until practically the present. So Mexico is experiencing severe economic problems. Their oil is reducing rapidly, and they're looking at problems. When Bush visits Mexico, rather than talk about what could be an alternative for dealing with Mexico, for helping the Mexican countryside, he simply, after giving lip service to social justice all over the continent, affirms that the last agricultural chapters of NAFTA will come into effect, guaranteeing increased poverty in the Mexican countryside.
Let's go to Mr. Sotelo, who is obviously in D.C. What is the U.S. doing, do you think, to counter this negative perception? Could you speak a little bit about that? Do we see the United States moving in that direction? Are they trying to make friends?
Well, you know, I speak from the perspective of Brazil. Obviously, President Bush is very unpopular in Brazil, as he is in most of the world. He is unpopular in the United States right now. So, but in Brazil, we see things from the perspective of national interest. Brazil is a very big country. We don't do this victimization business of our problems being caused by Americans that did this or that. Most of the Brazilian problems are homemade. They're made by Brazilians. They have to do with a legacy of slavery, of oppression, of social inequality. And very difficult to trace that to this or that administration in the United States. We have what the United States has done in this trip in particularly that was quite successful as far as Brazil. The Brazil part of it is concerned. Yes, there was protest in São Paulo, quite a small one actually, because it was successful because President Bush and President Lula, that come from the opposite sides of the political spectrum, decided to talk about one issue in which Brazil and the United States are both leaders, the issue of ethanol, of biofuels. The two countries are responsible for the production of 80% of all that is produced of that in the world, and there is here an avenue for potential cooperation. 2 meetings between the two presidents in a bit more than 3 weeks, and if the president is trying to improve his image or not is really besides the point as far as Brazil is concerned. If he's trying to do business, to trade with Brazil, to open the U.S. market, to cooperate, to exchange technology, etc., he's welcome. And Brazilians are very practical about those things.
And they're ready to go. Dr. Martini Briggs, you just came back from Venezuela. What was the reaction? Tell us about the actual reaction in Venezuela to this particular trip Mr. Bush took.
They have a very bad feeling about American in general because not only the coup in 2002 where people have said that United States was implicated in, but the policies toward Venezuela, is true that we have Venezuelan presidents all the time, but they were always promoting the policies that came from United States, imposed for World Bank, Monetary Fund, International Fund, etc.
Is it too late? Is what the United States are fearing the most come to reality in Latin America?
Well, if the United States is true to its rhetoric and principles, what we're seeing in Latin America is democracy truly taking root. And I think that the repudiation of George Bush is actually a manifestation of democracy having taken root in the region. And that's what we're seeing. So for the United States to go back to the old rules, yes, it's too late. For there to be a new possibility for Latin America to exist in an independent way, in a more mature relationship with the United States, I think we're in the right path.
I'd like to thank Pablo Sotero for being with us tonight. A pleasure having you on our show.
Pleasure to be here.
One of Fidel Castro's strongest allies in the region is Venezuela's President Hugo Chavez. He is fighting an open war of influence with the U.S. over Latin America. We will take a closer look at him and continue our panel discussion about Latin American issues in a moment.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs that connect you to the world.